Hey y'all, Coach Megan here, and I'm so excited to be talking with you all about growing your comfort zone this week. We just had our fall Powerhouse Mastermind this past weekend. It was absolutely amazing. Full mock pageant, 12 mock interview judges. USA Girls got 4 mock interviews with feedback, 12 pages of feedback, literally. It's incredible. MAO Girls got 2 full mock interviews with tons of feedback, and it could not have gone better. And one of the things that I learned was that when people get afraid, when people get overwhelmed, it is because something is pressing against their level of comfort zone and they don't know how to handle it. And so today I really want to help walk you through a little bit of my own life and the challenges that I've been facing, and also challenges I've been putting myself into on purpose, and why growing your comfort zone also expands the territory of your influence and your confidence and what you can do with your life. So with that, we will dive right into this week's episode. I'm so excited for you guys to hear it, and here's this week's episode. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you all this week. It is Coach Megan, and I'm excited to tell you guys a little bit more about this crazy challenge that I have been a part of for the last 39 days as of today. So raise your hand if you have heard of the craziness of 75 hard. Well, my lovely boyfriend, who loves to set crazy goals and is the hardest worker that I know, and is somebody who just, as a fellow 8, yes, I am an 8 dating an 8. He's kind of crazy in a good way when it comes to, like, he's got the greatest integrity. He's got the greatest levels of, like, self-control. When he puts his mind to something, nothing else in the entire world exists. Like, nothing is getting in his way. He is just a trailblazer and pushes down literally any barrier you could possibly imagine. So I really, really admire that about him. And we got back from vacation a couple weeks ago, which I think I told you all about. And we decided to be even crazier and start 75 hard on vacation, which I think I talked about a couple weeks ago in the podcast. And this basically comprises of drinking a gallon of water a day. You have to take a progress picture. You have to do an outside 45-minute workout, inside 45-minute workout, read 10 pages of a physical book. Cannot be Audible. I think it can be Kindle, though. That counts. We've been allowing that to count personally. And let's see, I might be missing one other thing, but it's a lot, right? So it's a lot of different things. You end up accomplishing 7 or 8 things a day. And at first I was super overwhelmed because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going into pageant season again. Like, how in the world am I going to have time to do any of this? I don't have time. I'm the busiest human being ever. Like, it takes me 3 weeks just to send back a package to the UPS. Anybody else feel me out there? That is just not my vibe. And one of my goals for 2023 is for Landon and I to hire a full-time assistant for the 2 of us, just because we're both really similar. Like, I'd rather pay somebody $100 just to drop off my mail or get my groceries, because I just, like, hate it. I literally hate it. And so hopefully that will be something that we can manifest next year, which we're really excited about. And so when you're kind of looking at the bottom of this goal, and you're looking at, let's pretend like your goal is at the top of a mountain, and you're like, okay, time to start the hike. And ironically, this is actually how this came to pass. We were in Colorado, and there's this beautiful little hike that was, like, extremely elevated and super, super high. There's this beautiful gazebo at the top when we were on vacation, and that's where I leaned over to him and I was like, okay, babe, like, I'm willing to do this. It sounds like this is something really important to you. You've mentioned it a lot, and I just think that it's going to be miserable if we don't do it together. Oh, because you also can't drink alcohol. So just little things like when celebration's coming up, Landon's birthday's coming up, and we're on 75 hard, all these different things. And so it's really a sacrifice. And you have to follow a diet. That's the other thing. So my diet is I don't eat past 8 p.m. And it's really been a challenge. But I was, standing at the bottom of this mountain, this bottom of this giant thing. And it's crazy how these obstacles just look nearly impossible. But when you start to take one step at a time, which we did, the whole entire hike ended up taking less than 10 minutes, even though in the beginning it looks darn near impossible. And I really wanted to bring that up today, because that is so much of how any goal is accomplished, any final domino that we feel like we need to knock down, any grade that we want to achieve, any, relationship goal that we have, pageant goal that we have. I was working with a girl this weekend because we had our awesome Powerhouse Mastermind, and it was just amazing. I mean, so far exceeded my expectations. So shout out to every single woman who came. You're a blessing in our life, and just an honor to be your mentor and your coach. We had women from, I think, 9 different states. It was absolutely amazing. But I was working with this girl this weekend, and we're working on her talent, and we kind of used the last 30 minutes of her one-on-one session, and we were going over something else before. And so we went into our auditorium. We have this big space where we can help our girls in talent, and I love working with vocalists. I don't get to do it as much anymore, but I absolutely love it. Obviously, that's what my degree's in, and been singing my whole life. And so she had been classically trained, and we were working on her piece, which I really, really loved for her. And that was cool because she needed validation on whether that was the right piece for her as well. And then just step by step, little thing by little thing, we went line by line, like literally one phrase, one line at a time of her talent. And I kid you not, within about 2 minutes, I helped her find her chest voice, and she had been singing the entirety of her piece, which is a musical theater piece, in her head voice. And I said, you can do that, but in order to be the most effective, I would highly recommend, and I gave her a course that I recommend to a lot of my vocalists that's super inexpensive but packs a punch. It's amazing. And you can tell sometimes that when you give someone a direction, it just doesn't 100% click, or an element of overwhelm will come in. And that's really that feeling of them standing at the bottom of a mountain and feeling like what you just told them is outside of the realm of possibility. And even though as the coach, I know that it is 100% in the realm of the possibility and in the realm of their control and something that they can do, that's what a coach is for, is to help bring that thing that seems impossible or overwhelming back into your comfort zone, or to expand your comfort zone by encouraging you to take a step, one step at a time, one simple action, a massive imperfect action, to show you that you really can. And so it was kind of an amalgamation of these two things. And I could tell that what I was telling her, she was just like, oh, that's overwhelming. But a lot of times people don't say it, which is why body language is so important. And so what I did was I decided in that moment, okay, I'm going to hold your hand through this, and we're going to, sing this phrase. Okay, now do this thing. And fun fact for a lot of my singers out there, what I do is I will have my singers hum first, rather than just sing the song, because practice does make permanent, especially with singing, since it's your unique instrument. And so I'll have my girls, when they're trying to find their chest voice, to hum first and to hum the whole song, because it's really hard to carry tension when you are humming. And so then I said, okay, now turn that into a note. And she did it immediately. And she's like, whoa, wait, what? I'm like, yes. And so we got through, 30 seconds of the song immediately, of this 90-second piece, and something that seemed wildly outside of her comfort zone suddenly was in her comfort zone. And what that does is, when you just take one step, or when you hire a coach, and again, that's their job, is to bring you outside of your comfort zone and grow that bubble around you of what you believe that you can do. Just amazing things happen. And I can't speak to it enough. I mean, I was just talking with one of my coaches even earlier today, about some things for our company, and we're making some new exciting leaps very soon. Allie and I are going out of town next week with both of our boys, and we're so excited just to get away and to have kind of a half business, half fun trip. We love traveling together, and we're all best friends who get to do business and life together, which is a huge blessing, and I wish that for all of you guys. But it's so incredibly important to have people speaking into your lives that have gone where you want to go. It's one thing to take advice from people who mean well, and God bless them, grateful for that. But it's a completely different thing to get advice from people who have been where you want to go and are who you want to be, and can actually give you the tangible advice of, no, here are the steps. Like, here's legitimately how you do this. It's not theory. It's not their opinion. It's like, here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so that's why we started Pageant Winner Secrets, our Facebook group, which you can join for free. It's in the show notes every week. And there's, 500 some girls in there. We've grown by almost 100 members just in the last month, because I want to create a space where we can foster positive conversation. We can stretch our mindset. We can give away coaching for girls to kind of get their feet wet of like, well, do I really need coaching? Like, can I just do this on my own? What's your vibe? And also why we do the podcast too, because, not everybody is a right fit. I was just talking with a girl earlier today as well, who's going to come here for a one-on-one weekend intensive. And I told her, I don't really even talk about these things that much, because there's a very specific kind of client that we're looking for that has to have a certain level of expertise, mindset, talent, high achiever kind of ness in her that even even qualifies for those things, or that we even look for our masterminds, because it's out of integrity for me as a coach to seek after people that I truly can't get results. So if you are somebody who's been a part of our Powerhouse programs, then congratulations, because that means that, I really do see greatness in you. And the other thing on the other side of that is, even if you aren't ready for, one of our programs, I still want to put out that information in Pageant Winner Secrets and through this podcast that can quickly get you there. Because everybody has the potential to be great. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what side of the tracks you come from, or anything about, who you are. God has given a bit of potential inside of everyone. It actually says in the Bible that he's given them the measure of faith. It's so cool that it doesn't even say a measure of faith. It says he's given them the measure of faith. And that means that our capacity is equal, because God's no respecter of persons, which is super cool. So you can latch on to the success that you see from me, from Allie, from other people that you look up to and that you listen to, and you can say, God, I want that. How do I get that? And faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So as you lean in and you press in to build that foundation, and you press into other people who have been where you want to go, then you will start trending in that direction. You just will. And the great thing is, it's not always conscious. It's often subconscious, but then it does become conscious in moments, sometimes months later or weeks later, and you notice how you did something differently, or approached something differently, or reacted to something differently, and it ends up being truly life-changing. So anyways, that's my little spiel on, just why challenging yourself, why investing in things like fitness, mental fitness, going to therapy, coaching, nutrition. I think that, fitness is not just physical, it's really mind, body, spirit. And for me, to kind of close this part out, so 75 Hard is something that, bringing it full circle, I truly thought was impossible. I mean, it was so out of my comfort zone. I was angry at Landon. But I just felt the Holy Spirit really tickling my heart and just kind of pricking me on the inside, saying, Megan, this is something that you need to do to support Landon. Because even though losing weight might not be your goal, or whatever part of 75 Hard may not be your goal, I still have something for you. And so I kid you not, in the first 7 to 10 days even, I just ended up going over to Landon and I said, babe, I just really want to thank you that we decided to do this. And of course he's like, no, thank you. We do so much together, and he and I, both as entrepreneurs, just want to be together every second. And all of our conversations just are so awesome, because they're about God and life and friendships and what we want to do, and just passion, interest, impact, both as eights, because it's just how we're hardwired, is to influence, win friends and influence people, kind of in a good way. And so I just really don't believe that he could have done this without me, when our schedules are so co-aligned, right? And that's where, if you are in a partnership with somebody, it is so important to have the same values, and to mend your schedules in a way where they're not working against one another, and you're creating unnecessary tension, unnecessary apprehension, unnecessary resentment, honestly, which is definitely what it would have been. I would have been angry all the time. Why are you doing that? Why do you feel like you have to work out again? Because it is a lot, right? But when you're sacrificing things together, you can actually build that mountain, go up that mountain a little bit stronger, because you have the force of two instead of one. So that's kind of my philosophy on challenging yourself. And I hope that was a blessing to you. Okay. So I'm crossing things off my list. Why challenge yourself? Check. 75 Hard. Check. And not to mention, by the way, I don't miss drinking at all. I mean, obviously I didn't drink a lot, but sometimes I miss a glass of wine with dinner. And obviously we have some fun things coming up in my life specifically, which I'm sure you guys will hear about very soon on social media. Wink, wink. And things like Landon's birthday and all of that stink in the moment. But you know what? I have got some great mocktail recipes, and they are fire. So I don't even miss it. The not eating past 8 p.m. has definitely been a challenge, and something that we've actually implemented into our inner circle for our challenge of the month that our girls are trying out. But I gave them till 8:30 because I'm a nice coach. But that's been really fun. And drinking a gallon of water, man, best thing I ever decided for myself. And I've lost 5 pounds. Landon's lost 8 pounds. And I'm not kidding. I'm eating ice cream every day, literally every day. So anyways, if you want to learn more about that, feel free to join the inner circle. You can reach out for a strategy call, or just DM me on Instagram because I prefer the ice cream diet personally. So, okay. Last couple things. So how to not approach a challenge, fitness, nutrition, things like this. I really want to encourage you guys to, number one, not do it alone. And number two, not to approach anything like a restriction. So when I was first approaching 75 hard, I was like, oh my gosh, 45-minute workouts a day. I was like, Landon, you do not understand, my man. Like, I don't have time. And what's crazy is you truly do make time for what you value. And time is, a fixed asset that we can't make more of and we can't take away. And so it truly, I'm just being vulnerable with you guys, has massively changed my mindset of the things that I was prioritizing. And also, if you struggle with getting out of bed in the morning or defining your goals and dreams, or maybe you're in a season like we talked about last week of just waiting or building the foundation and you're like, what am I accomplishing? Like, I feel like I have an inferiority complex every time I'm not massively accomplishing something. Well, welcome to high achiever land. Something like 75 hard, or maybe it's not 75 hard, but you just set your own 5 things that you have to get done. And the beauty of 75 hard is if you mess up even one time on one thing, you go back down to day 0. So it's terrifying, right? Because you're like, oh my gosh, if I forget the progress picture, I go to day 0. Yeah, it's the worst thing in the world. But it also kicks your booty in gear in a whole new way that you legit never thought was possible. I promise you. And it causes you to stretch that comfort zone, and it causes you to have a sense of accomplishment every day, even if you do nothing else. Even if you lay on the couch for the rest of the day, you got 2 workouts in, you drank a gallon of water, you read 10 pages, you took a progress picture, you didn't drink alcohol, you followed a diet. Those are amazing things for your life. Those are massive things to be proud of. And so it builds a sense of identity and self-worth and confidence in ways that many people struggle with. And so I cannot recommend that enough. Okay. On top of that, I would say how to not approach a challenge. Like I said, don't do it alone. So finding accountability buddies. That's why we have the inner circle. It's why we do a challenge every month. We have 80 women who are locking arms, supporting each other, positively influencing one another. And you get to talk with Coach Allie or myself every single week. So there's no place like it. It's the best place on earth for growing your ability to succeed in pageants, and just to have people holding you accountable, that have your back and are helping you create momentum in your life. That's what accountability does. So last thing for this short podcast, I'm so proud of myself. It's only been 16 minutes. So proud of myself. Why you should set the number one goal for yourself rather than a billion goals. So when something is not clear, it's not manageable, and therefore is not trackable. And if you don't know whether you're winning or losing, down to the letter, then oftentimes what happens is you're just hard on yourself, because our natural hardwiring and bent is just to kind of go to the negative. So what I want you to do for your homework this week is I want you to set one goal for yourself. And how do I figure out what that goal is? I want you to set that one goal that if nothing else existed but you got this done, you'd be super dang proud of yourself. And then what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, take a blank piece of paper and write down and keep asking yourself, well, how, why, through what, who, when, where, and keep asking yourself those questions and just journal a whole page till you fill the whole dang thing up. And then I want you to look over it, and you're going to see that you've just now created neural pathways as well as a tangible plan for what you can start doing on a day-to-day basis. And then here's what I want you to do. I would love for each of you guys listening to go to the Pageant Winner Secrets group, which you can find again in the show notes, and post your goal. You don't have to post, super specific if you don't want to, but I'd love to just see what you all are working on in this season of October at the time of this recording in pageantry. And that will also help me to curate more podcasts for the future, dependent more on what my audience, wants to know. So join Pageant Winner Secrets now. It's free, so no cost, no excuse. We have new trainings twice a month for free coaching for you guys, and you guys are first access to figuring out new things that we're working on. Today, I just posted a curious question to get you guys thinking. And Wednesday, every single Wednesday, we have a new interview question of the week that you guys can also practice practice with. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. Once you get in the Pageant Winner Secrets group, you'll also be able to get on our newsletter because we give out free stuff every single week, like the interview question and those kinds of things. So you'll just be in the loop with all the fun things that we have going on. Okay, so thanks for listening to this episode. Go binge listen to the other episodes if you have not already. Shout out to all of our binge listeners who start from number 1. You crack me up every single week. And that's all I got for you guys today, but stay tuned, join the group, and we will see you next week. Bye.